It's like the best e-commerce companies and the founding teams that have a grasp of the cash, what it does for them, how they measure it,
Right.
are super. I mean, they're unicorns.
They are.
I mean, I sit up real straight when there's a founder sitting there that says, you know what, it costs us $12.18 to get a customer.
Yeah.
That immediately puts them to the front of the class because
Right.
99% of the people do not know that. And then if they follow that with, if I just had fill in the blank, $100,000 for this marketing campaign, this is how I would allocate the dollars.
Right.
And my return on that ad spend is 5.3x. It's like, where do I shovel the money?
Right.
Just back up the truck and give it to them because they
Right.
know that stuff. It's proven, and they aren't buying desks and chairs and investing in another engineer. It's just, that's the model that works.
Yeah.
And I just wish there were more that leaned into
More
that
founders
because
like
it's
that.
right there. The information's there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I find founders know sometimes two numbers quite well. They know their top line. So they know their revenue and they know their return on ad spend, their ROAS. What they don't know is their gross margin, their contribution margin, their EBITDA. So what happens, or I think what we've seen quite a bit, is they're focused so hard on growing that top line. They're just pushing, and they're actually growing the top line. But their EBITDA or free cash flow, it's in a whole different space in a couple of years. They went from some profitability to now they're just eroding. They're going, EBITDA and top line are going the totally
What
different
causes
directions.
that? Where does that erosion happen with these founders that they're just so busy operating the company
I
that
don't
they
know
lose
what you've
sight?
seen, but I see them not really look at their gross margin.
Hmm.
I'm shocked because from an e-commerce point of view, if you think about selling hard goods or services, probably your biggest expense is your cost of goods sold
Yeah.
and your shipping and your warehouse management and all that kind of stuff. And they have no idea.
Yeah.
And the scarier part is that they could have optimized it along the way. There's always ways to optimize those costs.
Yep.
And because they weren't paying attention to those, they didn't optimize the cost.
That's so true. Having a good buyer, somebody who understands how to negotiate with those companies that you're buying your product from.
Yep.
It's overlooked. And I think sometimes the model gets baked in where they say, all right, our gross margin is 41%. That's it. And then they focus on all below the line
Everything below
stuff.
It. Yep.
And when you point out to them, hey, did you know your returns are like 6%? And gee, if those were only 5%, and if your gross margin was 42, that
Right.
1 point you pick up is super important.
Yeah, not only that, but in a growing business, you really do need cash to market your business. That's a reality. And if your gross margin's tight, you're not going to have enough cash to grow your business because you've got to invest in marketing.
Yeah.
And it's too tight in reality. Right. So another thing that I see, I'm just curious what you think about this, is I think founders don't truly understand the role and purpose or role and intent of an income statement versus a balance sheet versus a cash flow statement.
Very, very true.